Alright, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for A Place Further Than the Universe, Episode 9. And they've seen
icebergs. Yes.
Ice, baby.
Yes, they are almost there. But not
Almost
quite.
there.
Yeah.
So penguins are on their way.
Yes. And they are over their seasickness, more importantly.
Yes.
So now they're ready for the land sickness once they actually arrive.
Yeah, I do think though that the humor of the almost the horror humor of the previous bit with having them deal with just the ship just rocking like 60 degrees.
Well, no, it was like 50, or maybe, but they were saying
no,
like,
how was that one? The worst one was like 60, like
right.
And it's like yeah, but they didn't even hit that high.
Yeah,
and
they were like, what was
out.
it, like 15 degrees or something like that. And they're like,
yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
I can't imagine dealing with that, but the idea of them getting on, like, essentially frozen land and getting to do their whole explorer thing, and it's just kind of realizing that they did it, like they succeeded in their dream, their goal.
Yep.
That's right around the corner, so
yeah.
I'm really excited for them to get that kind of
it's gonna be cool.
that feeling. So without further ado, guys, let's get into this. Here's a game.
Doing jump rope.
もういいじゃないですか。終わったんだし。ダメだよ。帰りも
No, it's not.
長野遊び大会。優勝チームの肉見ただろう。
Oh!
最下位は何だろう。せめて魚肉は卒業したい。
Pull out a fish tier at least! Instead of hot dog tier. Shirase's
She's good.
really good.
何？しらせは基本見かけによらずだから。
Yes, it is. It is. Well said, Hinata.
見かけによらず短期とか。見かけによらずわがままとか。どういう意味？
Yeah, that's supposed to mean.
誕生日？
No.
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 It's an anniversary, more like.
Yep.
Yep.
好きなんです。
Yep.
隊長のことをで東堂銀隊長のことですよね。美人で頭も良くて意志も強くてどう考えても無理じゃないですか。
俺昔から憧れてたんだよ。ああいう強い人
どうしてです？
守ってくれ。
They could protect me.
死ねばいいのに。でもそれでなんでわ
Yeah, why?
That's an excellent question.
女子高生の中に隊長と古くからの知り合いがいるって聞いて
Not
何
exactly.
か情報はないかなって。
しらせちゃんだ。諦めろって。
Good grief.
これだ。これ
He's
だ
got an
よ。
idea.
隊員の恋の行方を私たちのリポートに入れたら盛り上がるよ。
Oh, nice.
なるほど。それはいいかも
Yes,
ですね。
genius.
あまり今までにない切り口ですし。
On the
There you go.
boat expedition, on the expedition boat gossip.
減
Yeah.
ったって言われたばっかなんだから、私たちがやっておくんで。邪魔だってさ。
I love these girls.
あまり
Oh my
喋る人でもな
gosh.
かったし。ちょっとキャベツだけ買ってくるから見てて。待って、だったら私が。
What's funny is that this could actually cause them to have some good heart-to-heart conversations
お
with
釣
her.
りです。
Right.
はい、お釣りです。
Wait.
知らない人にお金渡したらダメ。
Wow.
インタビュー装って、それとなんか
Oh my. Oh my. Yuzuki's all into this
条
too.
件みたいだね。
Wow.
交際は順調です。
How's the love life?
なんで私に？待って、それ誰が聞きに行くの？
No, Shirase is the worst.
Yeah,
to do
the
that.
absolute
It should be
worst
Yuzuki.
person.
前、甲板で二人で話してたでしょ？見てたの？仲良さそうに見え
She's
たから。
trying to
Everyone!
help out too.
Yeah,
Like,
but everyone seemed to have seen that conversation.
もともとお互い口下手なのよ。だからタカ子が席外すと二人とも。あ、ペンギン。
お待たせ。入っていいわよ。
ちょっと待って。何を聞くつもり？
今日は隊長の私生活についてインタビューさせてもらおうと思いました。好きな食べ物とか、普段どんな暮らしをしてるとか、あと恋愛とか。ズバリ好きなタイプは？目もう少し大きくした方がいいか。
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
沈まなくなるんだよね。
Yeah, you can do everything with smartphones these days in terms of photo
雲み
editing.
たいな人？
何それ？
そう。でもそう言ってました。
雲といっても
雲ってすごいよね。つかめないのに上見るといつもそこにある。
つまりどういうこと？
Is this loss?
まあでもなんとなくわかるけどね。
そう
Of
ね。
course, Hinata would be able to make sense of something like that.
お、しらせ？
Penguins! Penguins!
Nice.
ペンギン。
わかるか？雲のような。なんとなく。嘘！どういう意味？言葉に。
タカ子、わざと私とあの子二人にしようとしてるでしょ。
してるよ。だってあの子には銀ちゃんの魂が必要だから。
もうできないの？
Oh.
どう思っているか聞いておこうと思って。私のこと。
憎んでるって言ってほしいんですか？憎んでません。南極がそういうところだということは理解しているつもりです。
でも私が隊長だった。
落ち度があったんですか？あなたの判断ミスでお母さんは南極に取り残されたんですか？
No.
ああするしかなかった。
じゃあそれでいいじゃないですか。
だけ聞かせて。それは本心。
わかりません。だから話すのが嫌だったんです。どう思っているかなんて全然わからない。ただお母さんは帰ってこない。私の毎日は変わらないのに。帰ってくるのを待っていた毎日とずっと一緒で何も変わらない。帰るには行くしかないんです。お母さんがいる宇宙よりも遠い場所に。
Roll credits. Yeah.
なんだ？
定着氷にぶつかったのはラミングよ。
氷の上に乗り上げるんですか？
そう、一度大きくバックして船の自重で氷を壊
Oh. Nice.
だから砕氷船。
That's so cool.
Okay.
だらどうするんです？
す。何度も繰り返す。割れるまで何度も何度も。
Wow, the Determinator thing.
Uh-huh,
Yeah, yeah.
uh-huh.
特にここら辺は接岸が難しいって言われているところだからね。何度も何度も何度も諦めかけては踏ん張って進んだの。氷を砕くよ。
Yep. And it's cool how breaking the ice is also a term to, you know, be the connection between
Right.
people. Oh, that's so cool! Crunch. Okay. Wow. Ah, yes!
Yeah.
Yes!
何度も。
Yes!
And then, of course, they remind us of this.
おーい！小渕様！
綺麗だよ。とても。
ていた変わるのが怖くて何があるのかも
言っとくけどな、俺は本当に本気だった。隊長のことなんとかしてあげたいって。
隊員が隊長を救うなんてできないし、させないんだよ。その気持ちは大切に、自分が手を差し伸べられる相手を探すべきなんじゃない？
ユミコ。
だけ出てみる？
外。本当ですか？
ユス、カメラ！はい。
All right. Now, how are they going to get back out?
計5メートルまで。
Okay.
行くぞ。
They're gonna end the episode right before they step, aren't
They-
they?
I hope not.
シラセ、先行けよ。
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, we'll go together. Oh,
せーの。
yeah, yeah. Oh, well, they're here. We'll go. Oh, oh. We're here.
Yep.
Go. And of course,
Yeah.
Shirase's gonna start crying. Yeah.
ざまあみろ。
In your face.
Yes.
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 In your face. In your face. In your face.
バカに笑っても私は信じた。絶対無理だって裏切られても私は諦めない。
Wow. Yes.
その結果がこれよ。
Yeah.
私は南極に着いた。ざまあみろ、ざまあみろ、ざまあみろ。
Yes.
そっちかよ。
せーの。ざまあみろ。
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
せーの。ざまあみろ。
In your face. Oh.
This was both a fun episode and also like had some good like heartfelt,
Yes.
heartwarming, serious stuff in there too.
It did. It really did.
But that whole bit with the dude struggling
Stupid
with the love
dude
confession, and all
You're
that.
like,
that was
I need a
so
strong woman to
random.
protect me. I'm like, bro, I feel you. Strong women are amazing.
hot. Yeah.
But like, bro, calm down. Like,
Now we understand why they specifically said, and I'm looking at you, because
yeah, this guy has been alone for a bit longer than he can handle.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh my god.
But watch. I would not be surprised at all if they set something up where where they showed, even if it was like almost like just 3 frames of it, but him basically talking to the girl who was talking to her boyfriend who was breaking up with her because she went on the trip.
There you go. There you
Like-
go. I do think though that it's not going to be a big plot.
No,
point
absolutely
thing. Like,
not. I'm just saying, like, in before that happens, if it did happen.
So you're going to go on the prediction train saying that, like,
Basically, like,
he will.
they'll not that they'll actually like go
Yeah,
into
yeah,
it
but
in
they'll
any
like
depth.
bump into each other and talk. You know?
Right, exactly. Yeah, something like that where it's
Yeah,
implied.
that would be funny. That would be really funny.
But but okay, that part at the end after the credits. So
Wait. That's not like actual like discussion centric
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
that's the kind of thing where we're like, we can't read
I can't
Japanese.
read Japanese. So
what
it's
does
like,
it say?
What
Who
are they?
knows?
Yeah, because usually they show stuff there that's very important as far as like themes and and,
No,
and
it's the next
foreshadowing.
episode.
Yeah. But
Future episode stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
we'll
just have
find
to
out.
ignore that and just see what
Yeah.
happens from it, I guess.
But the big things this episode are everything to do with Shirase and learning how to. You hit a nail on the head that Todogin was basically the determinator, inspiration for getting the drive to go after something, even though it's difficult, even though it's hard, even though you don't really have the ability, to do something.
Right.
It's like.
Yeah.
We all need that person who basically inspires us to go and push beyond our limits and step out of our comfort zones and keep going after something even though it's hard.
In a lot of ways, I feel like Todogin is, since Shirase doesn't have a mom anymore, she's basically, or at least she could be
The surrogate mom.
the surrogate mom.
Yeah. At least the role.
Yeah.
She provides the role of someone who is an elder, someone who's gone through a similar experience, has similar passions, someone that she can look up to, and kind of
Depend
go
on and all that stuff.
Yeah. And even if the story is actually moving towards a place where it's not that they're going to end up having some kind of new mother-daughter role, it might be where they're going to move on to a role as being peers, and that Shirase will be someone that they can rely on each other. And I think that would actually be really, really poetic and beautiful, because then it would be that Shirase is her mother reborn, essentially. And it gives an opportunity for a captain to have another connection with her beyond death,
Well, and
there's something beautiful in that
absolutely
possibility. as a whole.
And the other thing, like that is kind of an interesting thing to think about, is that because of Shirase's age, it would, if her mom was still alive, it would be at that point where the mother role would start sort of meaning less and less, and they would start moving more towards that whole standing of being peers.
I agree.
So the fact that if they did want to do something like that here, it could both be the surrogate mother thing and, like you were saying, the her mother reborn, kind of deal, which is great.
Yeah, I do really want there to be some final closure with it, though, once they're actually on Antarctica together, and they maybe find some evidence that
what happened to her mom,
what happened to the mom, or they are leaving Antarctica and they basically kind of leave behind, in some ways, the guilt and the sadness and the negative emotions behind of
Takako,
yeah.
Yeah, because I almost don't want them to find the body. Like,
no, I don't want them to find the body. I don't want her to be alive. I want this to be a very I want this to be a very emotional thing where people have to basically recognize that the past happened, but we can push forward. We can move forward. Through that, you had a little sparkle in your eye.
Yeah.
What was
so I probably don't know what I'm talking about, but I just had a thought.
All right.
The mail thing, it could potentially be from Shirase's mom,
and she just pushed it forward.
She
had a delayed message that was like, send this in 5 years or 3 years or something.
Or it's that because she was by herself, there was no signal, there was no way to actually send it. Now that she's in range, the message gets sent.
That's
basically, as she's lying there freezing to death, she wrote a message to her daughter, right? Hoping that when the next expedition came, it would be able to latch onto the signal and actually send it. That might be completely bogus, but
that's just not how it works, though, technology-wise. Because this is years later, Jacob. Okay, so here's what you're thinking, right? You're talking about an actual electronic internet message, and that it was in limbo for
or
the
device
years.
Is still. Okay, yeah, the device wouldn't be still functioning after 3 years, because that's what I was originally thinking. The device is still functioning, it's still trying to send it.
Here's what it could be, Jacob.
What?
Is that she used some kind of program or something like that to constantly send a message.
Okay.
And it was at some kind of, like, the observatory. Like, she went to the observatory.
Sure.
And she actually made it there, and maybe she died there because there was no supplies or anything.
Right,
And she was trying to send a message out to get help, but she also sent a message when she realized she wasn't getting help to Shirase, and Shirase is now in range, and now it does it because maybe the observatory still has
because they wouldn't have to worry about the observatory like becoming just a solid frozen block. Like if it was like some sort of like handheld device, then probably
but if they turn off power to the observatory, when they're not there, it would become a frozen block. Like. It would.
Well, yeah.
But
that was just a thought I came up with, and I was
let's not go too deep in those theories because we've got so many emotionally good character.
A lot of good
things
stuff
that
happened this episode. Yeah.
There was specifically, I think, the bit where we got the correlation between the jump rope and Todogin, but also when we got into the backstory, we saw that the mom specifically chose to leave Shirase with her so that she could get some of her spirit, which is something interesting because when we think about the four girls as we know them, like the main four girls, we're like, they each have their own kind of unique personality and their own thing and stuff. And
you could give a one-sentence summary for each of them to communicate.
We don't have that for the mom. We don't have that for Takako. We don't have...
Or we do now.
Well, we do by what she's not. Meaning that we don't... Basically, Takako gave us one for Todogin. She's like, you have the spirit. Meaning that Takako isn't the spirit one.
Right. She's the cloud.
Yes. We do have the cloud thing, but the cloud is not a personality. The cloud is a thing to represent, I think, the loss that she feels because it's someone that's always there but when you go to reach for it, it dissipates.
Sure.
That sounds like someone that I've lost, and that I know they're always with me in my heart, because I look up and they're there. There's a lot of symbolism to, I think, death and reincarnation a bit, actually, in this episode, with the whole idea of the cloud representing Takako.
Right.
And yet, when you think of a cloud, if you go for the personality angle,
Well,
I think of just like flying high above the sky and having a perspective that none of us have, which is like, oh, that's cool. That actually reminds me of Shirase a little bit, the dreamer, the one that believes and all that stuff. But I think she was meaning it in that context specifically about the feeling, because she said literally what a cloud means to her. She said, it's
always there, but
it's always there, but
touch
every time you reach for it, it goes away.
Right. One thing that we could potentially, this might not be what Toto was intending, but when I think of a cloud, I think Kimari is actually a really good example of a cloud. The idea that she's always there, she is dependable, even if she's not dependable, because she's a cloud, right?
Okay.
So what it could mean, this is complete speculation, of course, but it could mean that Takako was the dependable one, and now she's gone, and that's one of the other reasons why Totogin feels the loss so much. Not beyond just the fact that they were friends and stuff, but because of that. Now it might not be because she was the one with the spirit and the determinator aspects and all that, but
yeah, if anything, it doesn't seem like we have any one character as being the dependable one. It seemed like they were all pretty dependable.
Sure.
Of the older four girls.
That's true, because they were older at that point, so they'd probably learned how to do that by then.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think it was more along the lines of like, what were their skills and what were their specific kind of belief, kind of thought processes that gave them, kind of what was their emotional kind of logic center combo that they brought to the table that was different. The girl who was kind of being a little bit kind of pressuring Totogin to go into the interview and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, she's the kind of person who I think understands the other people and kind of what they need. So she's the connector. She's the Hinata, so to speak. She's the one that kind of gets the the glue of everyone together. Or maybe she's the Yuzuki and kind of makes sure that kind of everyone's
she's
doing
better
okay.
at like picking up on things,
subtle
on
things,
the subtle cues.
And then Hinata is actually the one that's dealing with the boy,
the potato peeler.
And she's got all the energy, and she's brash and in your face, and
tells people what they need to hear, but not necessarily what they want to hear.
Right, exactly. And I do like the idea, though, that Kimari could be a representation of Shirase's mom, in that another aspect of the cloud, if we think about this more in the positive sense of a personality, I think of a cloud as something that is something that it reflects the environment it's in. So if you're in a storm, the cloud is it's stormy. But if you're in a sunny, happy environment, it reflects the sunny happiness. It adds a beauty to the environment. And I think Kimari as a person is very, very much like whimsical and gets flitted about by the wind, so to speak, like a cloud. But then when it's time to shine and stuff, a cloud is one of the most beautiful things to see in the sunlight. It's beautiful white, like fluffy. And she is kind of a fluffy, kind of just.
She is very fluffy as far as personality goes.
Yeah, and that's kind of the illusion we have about what clouds are like, because you can't feel anything with clouds. It's just they look fluffy,
Right. Yeah.
But who knows? I think we're looking a little bit too much into the
metaphors
cloud
and
thing. Because they gave us a literal analogy in the show. Yeah. And if that's the case there, that's really sad, because it's showing that in most of the ways that Totogin is, she is not able to move beyond she's not able to move past the past. Basically, she's not able to move beyond the past because her type is basically, I mean,
The unobtainable.
Is someone that's gone. Is someone that's
right.
someone that's there emotionally in terms of that she remembers the feelings of Takako being there, but
for some reason this episode it made me wonder why we've never seen Shirase's dad. Like I mean, I get that they can't show all of the parents, but
that's something that's very cleverly
I mean, keep the cast small and everything, but at the same time,
it's subtle, but we could be seeing that this is something where by keeping it ambiguous, you let us fill in the blanks of kind of what the story could be. Now, we know that at the very least she had a kid, right? Okay.
Yeah.
But we don't know 100% what the relationship actually between Takako and Todogin was. So they could have actually been together like at that point. We don't know.
Right, because it seemed like they might have been setting that up, but so then the question is, where's Shirase's dad? It could be something where he just left, like that's totally possible because
that would be really sad, but the whole expedition thing, the whole drive to go to Antarctica, it could be kind of the same thing we've seen with the girl who's going on the expedition and the guy's going to break up with her. It's they had that too, basically.
Yep. Because if you think about it, okay, Shirase's 17. So her mom, had her a while ago. Right. But the friends and the previous crew, right? Yeah. The previous group of girls that are now grown up,
right?
They don't look that old.
They don't.
They don't look old enough to have a 17-year-old kid, or at least if they did, then they would.
They could.
They could. But but the idea is that that seems like the thing where
I could easily imagine any of them being 37.
Oh, okay.
Well,
yeah. It's anime. It's hard to tell.
Well, right. But could you see Todogin being?
Todogin is the oldest looking one of all.
Yes, and could you see her being as old as 45?
That I feel like that's pushing it.
Okay, well I think that's the oldest she could be.
Okay.
So in that case, she definitely could.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
But
also, some people have kids when they're really young, so who knows? Maybe that's why the dad is not around.
Well, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
It was maybe a little bit of an awkward situation. Yeah. She had a high school, pregnancy or something, and
Yep.
I mean, it's something I don't think the story's ever going to bring up.
No. If they haven't brought up Shirase's dad by now, they're probably never going to.
Yeah, it's not relevant, but I do think though that the relationship between Takako and Todogin is potentially relevant because she's not able to move on past her.
Right,
which the cloud representation is that.
Which is really cool because since Shirase coming to Antarctica is basically her way to move on, even though she's still working on it, it's a progress, right?
Right.
That's one of those other ways to reinforce the whole idea of the peer relationship between her and Todogin.
Because they both need to do that.
They both need to do that.
Yes.
And in a lot of ways, Shirase is the one that's breaking the ice.
Yes. Yes, she is.
So
Todogin, they wanted to come here.
Right.
But I think Shirase wanted to come here a lot more than they did.
Well, and also the whole thing of she was the one who had to go and ask Shirase, do you hate me?
Yep.
Yep. So. And I mean, she was kind of right. But. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So we've got now the whole group on Antarctica.
Yep.
Penguins have been seen.
That's right.
Ice has been broken.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, the ice breaking sequence, yes, it's very beautiful. It's very cool. But in terms of themes for the story, it's genius. It's genius.
So on point.
Having that be the visual metaphor for what's going on between
what's been going on.
Yeah, for this whole expedition, really. It's it's something that I can't look at this story and go, and they just came up with that on the fly. Like, that had to be something, like, I feel a little bit earlier on in the process where they're like, oh, and then when they break the ice, we're going to use that as a visual metaphor to describe kind of the... Or
at the very least, I feel like this is an example of why having a simple story is such an important thing.
Sure.
Because since the whole concept of the story is, you know, high school girls do the impossible, which is for them going to Antarctica, right? By doing that, by having that be very clear, and that's what the story is about, they can have things like this and know, and when they think of, you know, them breaking through the ice, they're like, oh, we need to make that scene important. We need to really focus on it. We can't just gloss over it, because that fits in so perfectly with everything that's been happening. So, yeah.
And then finally ending it off with, in your face!
Yes!
In your face!
Yes!
Okay. Here's the thing that's great about this. Shirase is not surrounded by the people she wants to yell in your face to.
Right. Yeah.
Now, she's yelling it out because she's been frustrated so long, I think, by those people. And those people, now, this whole episode is kind of about the past, right? Those people are ultimately Shirase's past now.
Yep.
She is moving on from them by getting out the emotional frustration and anger at them here.
Exactly.
Because when she comes back, she's going to be so flying above them like a cloud.
There's no
that she
point
doesn't
in
care.
going back to them. Yeah. Yep. It was fantastic. The other thing that I thought was really cool about the fact that they were doing it away from all the people that she was actually wanting to say it to, and out in Antarctica, in the middle of, you know, this frozen wasteland, is that it's almost like she's saying it to the entire world.
Oh, sure.
And
then they have the whole crew listening, so it makes it kind of like her whole world at the moment.
Right.
She did shout
and
it
then they
out
all
to.
end up shouting it too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It's really good
That's
stuff.
really good stuff. Like, when you do something that is your dream, like, what was a dream of mine recently? It was a really small little one.
Starting a YouTube channel?
No. I'm talking like a couple years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
There was something where, I think it was related to Ultimate Frisbee, where I wanted to do like a Callahan. Yeah, I think it was a Callahan. And it's a move in Frisbee. You can look it up and stuff. But basically, it's a very cool defensive move where you throw the Frisbee into the end zone of the other team. And before they can even make one throw to get it out of the end zone, you catch their throw in the end zone, you automatically score. Now, to do this, you have to run the entire length of the field. You have to run the entire length of the field. So that means you have to throw it high enough to get up there, have it land in just the right way, and have them essentially, with the rest of your team, come and stop them from making an initial easy throw. And I think when I did that, that was one of those moments where I was like, yes, but I didn't have anyone else that was kind of doubting me.
Gotcha.
It was just like a little thing that I had.
It was something in the back of your mind, you were like, I want to make sure I do one of those.
Right. But I instead kind of yelled in your face, essentially, to the Frisbee. Because it was me saying, like, yes, I can beat this. I can do better than this.
Surpass your own limits.
My own limits, exactly. Yeah. But this is something that's been imposed on her by others. So it means so much more. So much more. That'd be kind of like you, when you finish your book, saying to all the people that maybe doubted you or whatever, just kind of being like, you know, not necessarily to them, but thinking about them as you finish it. And you're going, in your face! Published! Oh yeah,
right.
So it's pretty cool. But guys, fantastic episode. Good stuff. Can't wait to have some fun with penguins in Antarctica with the girls.
Maybe some penguin sledding.
Penguin sledding? No, please, no. But guys, if you want to see the next episode's reaction right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us about stories or whatever. And if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.